baby. How's going? How's everything doing? How you doing, honey? So I fell in love with the sound of language. I love to listen to pastors preach, and they get real into it, and their voices would get real strong, and they had a way of musically talking. And I enjoyed the textures of voices, you know, and I also paid attention to what people would say to one another. Like when you would say to someone, I love your hat. And ooh, look at how beautiful your outfit is. Ooh, I just love this color on you.
I just love what around your neck and those pretty things hanging in front of you.
Oh, thank you so
And your earring
much.
that matching.
Thank you.
You are dressed up nice.
Thank you
And
so
the belt
much.
around your pretty waistline.
Oh, well,
and
thank you.
And look, and it's sparkling along. That's the wrong thing.
There we go. You see? And immediately, that just lifts everyone's spirit just to hear those positive words,
Well,
right?
that's true, Carl. Look at her ears.
Yeah.
She but the truth.
I like that. I like that. So keep in mind, we pay attention to how we talk to one another. Sharing good words, encouraging things to one another. It really reads our spirit the same way you say something negative to someone. Like, ooh, I don't like those shoes, and I don't know why you got that on. It still has the same effect, right? It gets into the back of our ears. Sometimes it gets into the back of our ankles. Sometimes it goes into our bodies and stays there. So pay attention to what we say to one another. Okay? So without further ado, it is my distinct pleasure to give you one of my favorite poems by Dr. Maya Angelou, entitled Phenomenal Woman.
Yes, I've heard that.
Pretty women wonder where my secret lies.
Yes.
I'm not cute
Yeah.
or built to suit a fashion model size. But when they see me, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's in the stretch of my palms, the palm of my hand, the grace of my steps, the way that I stand.
Yes.
I am a woman. Phenomenal woman. That's me. I walk into a room just as cool as you please.
Yeah.
And to a man, the fellow stands or falls down on his knees.
Yeah, they usually do that.
Yeah. Then they swarm around me
All right.
like a hive of honeybees. I say,
Talk to me.
it's the fire in my eyes, the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist, the joy in my feet.
All right.
I am a woman,
All right.
phenomenal woman. That's me.
All right.
Men themselves have wondered what they see in me. They try so hard, but they can't touch my inner mystery. But when I tell them, they say they still can't see. I say it's in the arch of my back, the sun in my smile, the ride of my breasts, the grace of my style.
Good, baby.
I am a woman, phenomenally.
That's wonderful.
Phenomenal woman.
But that is wonderful.
That's
baby. That
me.
is wonderful.
Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about. I have to talk real loud. But when you see me passing,
What's that do?
All right, girl.
What's that do, baby?
it ought to make you proud.
Okay.
Because I'm a woman.
Okay.
Phenomenally.
Yeah.
Phenomenal woman. That's you, 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 you,
We're
all
winning.
of you,
We're winning.
That's right.
and little old me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you too. We thank you too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
That was real nice.
you. Now,
That was great.
It was. It was.
That was great.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
When you think of the word freedom, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Anyone? By show of hand, when you think of the word freedom.
I can tell you what freedom means. It
Okay.
means not being enslaved.
Very good. Next, freedom. Anyone else? When you hear the word freedom, what comes to mind? First thing that comes to mind. Anyone?
One God's children for one.
All right. That's
For
wonderful.
one of them.
Wonderful. Wonderful
Yes, it
answer.
is.
So let me ask you this. When you think of the word caged, something that's caged, what comes to mind?
Slavery.
Closed in. Very good. Slavery. Very good. Anyone else? Caged. Being caged.
That's right.
Well, I think when Dr. Maya Angelou wrote this poem, Caged Bird,
Yeah.
all these words were coming to mind. So, without further ado, it is my distinct pleasure to give you Dr. Maya Angelou's
Yeah.
Caged Bird.
Very good, very good.
The higher you build your barrier, the taller I'll become. The further you take my rights away, the faster I will run. You can't deny me. You can't decide to turn your back away. No, 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 no. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends and dips his wings in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
Very
But
good.
a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldomly see through his bars of rage.
Very good,
His wings are clipped
very good.
and his feet are tied.
Very good, baby, that's very good.
So he opens his throat to sing. Something inside of me is so strong. I know that I can make it, though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. See, all of my pride was gone, but something inside is so strong. Oh, something inside of me is so strong.
Very good, very good.
A free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds flowing through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn. And she names the sky her own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shout, 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 shout on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied. So he opens his throat to sing. A caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, yet hoped for still. And his tune can be heard on the distant hill,
Very good.
because the caged bird sings
Very good.
of freedom.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very good, very good.
And lastly, one of Maya Angelou's most famous poems would be Still I Rise.
Yes, yes. And still I rise.
And I like to do a reading interpretation of this particular poem, because this poem means to me the essence of texture and feeling and depth of Dr. Maya Angelou's voice. How it resonated when she used certain words,
Very good.
how they came out of her mouth, how they formed through her teeth and through her lips. So as you listen, my prayer is that you hear the intonation of Dr. Maya Angelou's voice through me as I give you Still I Ride.
That's good. That's good.
And still I rise, never to give up, never to give in against all odds. Yet still I rise high above the clouds. At times I feel low, yet still I rise.
Yes, my
Very
God.
good. Very good.
You may write me down in history
Yes.
with your bitter, twisted lies.
Yes.
You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust,
All right.
I'll rise.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
Does my sassiness beset you?
Uh-huh.
Why are you beset with gloom?
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells
All right.
pumping
Mm-hmm.
in my living
All
room.
right. All right.
Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides. Just like hope springing high. Still,
All right.
I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head, lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't take it awful hard. That I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard.
All right.
You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like air, I'll rise.
All right.
Does my sexiness
Very good. Very
offend
good.
you?
Very good.
Does it come as a surprise that I dance?
Very good.
Dance! 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 Are we ready to dance?
Yep.
All right. We're gonna follow the leader. Everybody, clap your hands. We're gonna dance now. Come on, y'all. Everybody, clap your hands. All right, now who knows this song? We know it? All right, clap along now. That's right. Oh yeah, you're sounding good, y'all. Come on. Talking about my. Woo, y'all sounding good. Here we go. Let's shake our shoulders. All right, y'all, shake your shoulders. Very good. Shake them shoulders. Good girls. All right, y'all. Here we go. Shake some shoulders. Yes, good. Okay, we get ready to go to something else next, y'all. Y'all ready? Up and down. Move the shoulders up and down. Up and down. Good. Woo! Looking good, y'all. Snap. 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 All right. Okay, who can tap my toe? Come on. In the rhythm. You got it. You got it. You got it. Very good. We tapping. Next foot. Come on, tap. All right now. I see some toes tapping. Hey, hey, hey. Come on. We know the sound. Come on, y'all. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, you're sounding good. Sounding good. Woo. We're going to show these shoulders again, y'all. Come on, y'all. Shake them. I don't need no money. Woo. Yeah. All right, y'all. I see it. Shut them shoulders. All the riches, baby. Come on, y'all. Yes. Come on. We're going to start clapping again. Come on. I guess you. I can't hear you. Make me feel this way. That's it. I've got gold mines at the meeting of my Father.
Very good, very good.
Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise.
Yes.
Up from a past that's rooted in pain. I rise.
Yes.
I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling. I bring in the tide,
Yes.
leaving behind nights of terror and fear. I rise
Very good, very good.
into a daybreak that's wondrously
Very
clear.
good, very good.
I rise,
Very good,
That's right.
bringing the gifts
very good.
that my ancestors gave.
That's right.
I am the dream and the hope of the slave.
Yes.
And so
All right.
I rise.
Yes.
Very good, very good.
I rise.
Yes.
There I go. I rise.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Wow.
Very good,
Thank you. Those words, and still I rise, always evokes an emotional response from me because I think about my grandparents, who are now my ancestors, who one had a third grade education, but was still able to manage owning his own property, owning his own business with a third grade education, and decided to keep his land for his children and his children's children.
That's right.
And initially it was owned by his mother and it was passed on to him. And I stand before you as the proud owner of that same property in Eastover, North Carolina.
Very good.
Therefore I am the dream
Very good.
and the hope
Very good.
of my ancestors.
God bless you, God bless you.
So we must think about those who left behind us
Yes.
to be here today,
Yes.
to smile, to breathe, to dream,
Yes.
to think, and to share love with one another. Always, no, they passed on. No, but always think about the love that they have put in you.
Yeah.
Think about your parents,
Uh-huh.
your grandparents, those who showed you love and kindness.
That's very true, very true.
Because every day you walk around, you are living their dream.
That's right.
Amen?
Amen.
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 Now, moving on with Dr. Maya Angelou, she, as most of us as artists, never make it alone. We all always have someone who came before us that we admired and said, you know what, when I grow up, I want to be that and I want to do that. Well, one of her favorite poets was Robert Frost, who was also originally from North Carolina.
Okay.
Robert Frost had a way of looking at life and seeing things through nature and through things that were there and seeing them for more than what they were. A good example of that is this tree. Everyone turn and look at this tree.
Yes.
When you see this tree, we see a tree, but there are many things that you can see on this tree. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you see this tree? Anyone?
The little animals on it.
Very good. See, most people would say, I just see a tree. But you see animals. Very good. Anyone else? When you see that tree, what do you see?
Flowers.
Flowers. Very good. Very good. And what else when you see that tree do you see?
The gift of life.
The gift of life. Wonderful. And when I see that tree, I think of Christmas.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me of a Christmas tree.
Okay.
So everyone else would say it's just a tree. I'd say, no, it reminds me of sitting in my grandma's house and looking at the fireplace in Christmas time. And watching Hee Haw on Saturday mornings. You know, so these are the things that come to mind. As an artist and as a creative mind, one, I encourage you to do this every day. See things with your creative mind. Never see things just as they are. Continue to create because that's what keeps us young, right?
Very true.
Very good. So without further ado, it's my distinct pleasure to give you a poem by Robert Frost. Whose woods these are? I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer without a farmhouse near. Such easy wood and downy flake the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there's some mistake. The only other sound, a sweep of easy wind and downy flake. Oh, the woods are lovely, dark and deep. But I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. Yes, and miles to go before I sleep. Thank you. And thank you. And lastly, I will leave you with one of Dr. Maya Angelou's and one of my favorite poets of all time, Shakespeare.
Oh, yeah.
When I was in high school, I couldn't understand Shakespeare to save my life. We would have to do this as required reading to get to the 11th to the 12th grade. Y'all remember having to do Shakespeare? So when I went off to college, I was at a classically trained school. And my professor, Barney, who was the first person to really enlighten me on Shakespeare, said, Natasha, pay attention to the sound of the word, and you won't forget it. He'd say, Shakespeare colored his words with sound. Whenever you hear the end and the beginning of a sentence in Shakespeare, he made sure to give you a sound. So the more you hear the sound, the more you will understand Shakespeare.
Very good, very good.
So today I will give you my favorite soliloquy by Shakespeare that has a lot to do with life and passing on. It is my distinct pleasure to give you sonnet number 3. You ready?
You ready?
I see the clock up on the wall, but it don't bother me at all. These are ever-changing times. I see the clock up on the wall, but it don't bother me at all. These are ever-changing times. When I do count the clock that tells the time, and see the brave day sunk into hideous night, when I behold the violet past her prime, and sabled curls are silver or with white, with lofty trees I see barren of leaves, from erst from heat did cover up the herd, and summer's green all girded up in sheaves, borne on the bier with white and bristly beard. Then of thy beauty does thou question make, that thou amongst the waste of time must go, since beauty and sweets do themselves forsake, and die as fast as they see others grow. Yet, nothing against time's scythe can make defense, save greed to brave thee, when thee takes thee hence. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. questions for me today? Any questions? I'm originally from North Carolina, live in New York, lived in Chicago. So anyone would like to go around and tell me where you're originally from today? Anyone like to? Yes, please. You were from Washington, D.C.?
I'm from Hammond, North Carolina.
But you're a New York girl. From Brooklyn, all right. And I was born in Bed-Stuy. So we have that in common. Yes, yes, sir.
Washington, D.C.
Washington.
Washington.
All right.
No place like Washington.
No place like Washington. Yes, ma'am.
Little Rock, Arkansas.
Little Rock, Arkansas. That's where Dr. Maya is. So she's from Stamps. Yes, Stamps, Arkansas. Yes, ma'am.
I was born in South Carolina, grew up in North Carolina, and graduated from NCC.
There you go.
And lived most of my adult life in Pennsylvania.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Oh, I didn't tell you I'm a nurse by profession.
Oh, wonderful.
And all behind it.
All right. So you know a lot about taking
That's
care
right.
of people. That's right. And anyone else would like to tell us where you're from?
I'm from Chicago.
From Chicago. I used to live out in Mount Prospect, out in the suburbs.
I was born in Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. Okay.